The United States has warned Hamas is planning an attack in breach of the Gaza ceasefire. The US State Department says the United States has informed the guarantor nations of the Gaza peace agreement of credible reports indicating an imminent ceasefire violation by Hamas against the people of Gaza. This planned attack against Palestinian civilians would constitute a direct and grave violation of the ceasefire agreement. Let's go now to Mouin Rabbani in Montreal. He's the co-editor of Jadaliyya and non-resident fellow at the Centre for Conflict and Humanitarian Studies. Mouin, what's your interpretation here of this US State Department issue?
It's somewhat difficult what to make of it. We're being asked to believe that the United States, which for 24 months has unconditionally supported Israel's perpetration of genocide against the Palestinian people of the Gaza Strip, is suddenly concerned about their welfare and is threatening to take measures to protect what it calls the people of Gaza. It can't even bring itself to use the word Palestinians. Second of all, the ceasefire agreement was between Israel and the Palestinians, so it's unclear, even if these reports are credible, to what extent any Palestinian attack against other Palestinians or Israeli attack on other Israelis would constitute a violation of that ceasefire. But in broader terms, it's quite clear that Israel and the United States are very disturbed by Hamas's reassertion of authority over those sections of the Gaza Strip from which Israel has withdrawn. Israel has been sending in armed gangs and collaborator militias to wreak havoc in these areas. And these now represent the people of Gaza, and Hamas is being put on notice that any further efforts to clip their wings or to get rid of them will be viewed as an attack, not as on Israeli proxies, but as an attack on the people of Gaza. I mean, we have seen these summary executions conducted by Hamas forces against those they claim are criminals and collaborators. And I think it's reasonable to assume that they have gone beyond that to also seek to take out others. But to suggest that this is in any way the United States coming to the defense of those whose genocide it has unconditionally supported for 2 entire years just boggles the mind and defies the imagination. I think this is really an attempt to stoke civil conflict within the Gaza Strip, to seek to achieve what so far Israel has signally failed to achieve.
Mouin, can I go then, because you talk about these armed proxy fighters, you talk about the involvement of Israel, perhaps using them and stoking conflict here between the US and Israel about what's happening on the ground in Gaza. So the issue then would seem that there's actually nobody officially in charge in Gaza in the moment. There is a power vacuum.
Well, there was a power vacuum because, particularly since March, Israel began systematically targeting police forces, civil authority, and so on, including people responsible for maintaining law and order. So it went far beyond its wholesale attack against Hamas as a military organization or against the Palestinian population of the Gaza Strip, but began very specifically targeting the civilian infrastructure of governance in the Gaza Strip. Nevertheless, that power vacuum is now being, to a significant extent, filled by Hamas since Israel withdrew from about half of the Gaza Strip. And I think given the efforts by the Israeli government, and particularly Prime Minister Netanyahu, to project this image of unconditional victory, this is really bothering Israel. And I think, once again, the United States is coming to Israel's rescue by basically seeking to warn off Hamas against any further reassertion of its authority. And, if you read between the lines, threatening the Palestinians with civil war.
Mouin, thank you very much for your insightful commentary. That's Mouin Rabbani from Jadaliyya and non-resident fellow at the Centre for Conflict and Humanitarian Studies.
Thank you.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.